Hello, guys. Are you back? Everybody's back?
Yes, we are ready.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. Any questions before we move to Power Automate? Next topic is going to be Power Automate. All right. So I'll get started then. I'll start by sharing my screen and then we can go. All right. So we talk about our apps, the portal, the Canvas app, the model-driven app. No, so now we are going to talk about the second or the third, I would say, module on the Power Platform, which is Power Automate. Right. So what is Power Automate? Power Automate is basically the automation engine of Microsoft, or also the RPA, Robotic Process Automation Engine of Microsoft. Right. So what Power Automate gives you is the ability to automate repetitive tasks, or the ability, to automate any other task, whether it's not repetitive or any other task that you want to do, or any validation or any trigger points that you want to achieve. You can do that with Power Automate. Actually, it completes your Power Apps in a way, right? For example, the training registration that we did in the morning, what you can do is as soon as somebody submit his name for the training, the name goes for approval. Once it's approved, then he's accepted in the training, something like that, right? So this is something that you can do. So you can trigger a workflow or a Power Automate flow from within Power Apps, or you can let it run on its own from on a time basis, etc. Right? So there are multiple trigger points to run Power Automate. So basically, Power Automate is your workflow engine, right? So let's get started. So there are different type of ways that you can start creating your flows. First possibility is using pre-built templates. There's a number of pre-built templates that you can use. So these are very useful and it's meaningful as well. So you can start from there and then you can customize. You can start from the template, but then you can remove components that you don't need or add further components, right? So there are also same thing as Power Apps. It uses the same connectors that we have seen. It has got seamless integration to the Microsoft ecosystem, whether it is with Azure, Microsoft 365, Dynamics 365, etc. So we have seamless integration with all those systems, right? So you have also the ability to connect to on-premise system, right? So using the on-premise data gateway, which works for Power BI, which works for Power Automate and Power Apps, you can use that gateway to connect to your on-premise data. Because remember, you are in the cloud. Power Automate run in the cloud, so you can't connect Power Automate to your local Power Automate cloud to your local database. You have to use a gateway, right? Right. So this is just an example of Power Automate. So you can use Power Automate to send approval workflow, right? So once somebody submit a form, it goes for an approval, right? So this is one example, right? And then it's again the same concept as we have seen previously. So it's a kind of concept of flow with branching, right? So you can say if the outcome is equal to approve, go this way. If it's not approved, go that way. So it's quite easy to build using Power Automate, right? So let's get started into those different types of flows. First, there are three types of flows that you can create. So you have event-driven flows, right? So which is basically based on an event or trigger point. It can be when an item has been inserted, when an email is received, etc. You have different trigger points. There are business process flows. These are basically what you create in Power Apps. So you can also create them in Power Automate. And then you have desktop flows, right? Desktop flows works with Power Automate desktop, right? So you have to have Power Automate Desktop to design your flow, and then you can deploy it obviously in Power Automate Cloud, right? So we'll go in each and every one of them, and then I could give you some example, right? So obviously you can add AI capabilities to your model, to your Power Automate. Okay, you can use the AI builder, like I've shown you previously. You can use that AI builder, create whatever AI you want, and then include those AI module or AI model into your Power Automate flow. Okay, whether it is text classification, prediction, object detection, or from processing, right? So I'll skip that case study from True Green. So let's see one in action. I'll give you a quick demo on how you can use Power Automate. Right. So let's get started. So I'll first of all go to my app catalog, go to my 365 apps, and then open Power Automate. Let me just close all of these as well. Right. So this is Power Automate. What you can do is you can use a number of existing flows. For example, these are all templates that exist, right? So if I go to create, if I want to create one, I go to create, I can choose from all those existing templates. So for example, start an approval when a file is added to SharePoint, or notify a team when planner task changes status, etc. So there's a lot of options that you can see there. You can view more templates, right? So save a message to OneNote. Well, there's a lot of stuff that you can do, right? So these are the different categories of flow that you can create. You can create an automated cloud flow. Automated means it will run based on some trigger point, right? And you can decide what are the trigger. Instant cloud flow. This is manually triggered. Schedule, right? This will run automatically based on a schedule. Desktop flows, you need to have Power Automate Desktop to create your desktop flows and then publish it there. Business process flow, this allows you to create a screen process like you would do it in model-driven app. Process Advisor is just a tool that you can use to evaluate your existing processes, and it will give you some KPIs and some hints on how your processes are being used and where to optimize, right? So let's start by the automated cloud flow. So you can see here, it asks you what is the trigger point, okay? And this is a lot of trigger points that you can, there's a lot of trigger points there. So it's not only, trigger points can be anything. It can be related to Power Apps, not related to Power Apps, because remember, we are in Power Automate. Power Automate is a completely separate product. You can use it on its own. You don't need to use it with SharePoint, with Microsoft 365 or whatever. You can use Power Automate with Gmail and Excel if you want, okay? Read a Gmail, extract the content of that Gmail, take that Excel file, put it somewhere, for example, right? So you can see there's a lot of connectors there. These are all free connectors. If it's not free, it would be written, right? So you can connect to Amazon Web Services. You can connect to a lot of time, right? A lot of so these are all trigger points, right? So that you can. So what I will try to do is something. Let's see if you have something with Dataverse. Okay. See, when a row is added or modified, I want to use that as a trigger point. So when somebody creates a row in my data, okay, and then I can choose here added or deleted. What type of action? Let me just say added, right? Choose a table, and I will choose my table, which is training. Okay, you remember we created that table in the morning, right? Scope, is it okay? Scope is a little bit different. We haven't talked about that. Scope is, you know, in Microsoft Dataverse, you can create scope. Scope, there are different types of scope. The highest level is organization scope, so it means full database, full tenant. Business unit, it means the business unit I belong to as a user, right? or parent. Parent means I have access to my business unit and to the parent business unit, so as a child business unit. And then if you put scope user, it means that it only give me access to data I have created, right? So these are the scopes, right? So I will choose organization for now. Couple of advanced options here if you want to do that. So basically, this is the trigger point. When somebody added a row, okay, and you would remember that we have created a Power Apps. Okay, let me just open that meanwhile. Okay, we have created a Power Apps that allowed us to write something to that dataverse. So I would say when when the system writes something, I want to do an approval, for example. Okay, so if I just type approval here, there's a lot of approval actions. So I can use start and wait for an approval. So this is out of the box approval, right? So it just allows me to approve or reject, right? So when a row is added, an approval is being sent with the title, for example, the attendee's name. Okay, it will say new request. Let me put something new training request. And I put a column and I will put the attendee name. You see, I'm building my application. It will just send an approval, which is new training request received from and the attendee name. Assigned to, who should review that? I'll send it to me for now. Okay. Let me send it to me for now. Some details about I can put the attendee's name. I can put the training date. Okay, these are all the data coming from the table, right? Training date, training name. I can put it in a much fancier way, but for now I'll put it like this. If I want to give a link to approval, if not, not necessarily. So I want to add a next step with a condition. So now I would say I would add a control and I want to check because remember this is start and wait. So it means that the workflow will stop here, will pause here and will wait for an action. So the action would be a response. So you see now when I click here, I have automatically, now it's telling me that these are all the outcome from this action, start and wait for an approval. This is the action and this is the outcome. So I will choose the outcome is equal to proof. Then I go this way. Then what I will do is I will send an email. Okay. So, and I have a lot of options there. I can send a Google mail. I can send a normal Office 365 email. So I would say send an Office 365 email to the person that has made the application. For now, I'll put like me and to say your training registration. And I will put some valuable information like the training name, okay, and the training date, or maybe, yeah. So I would say, dear, okay, I can even write down the attendee name, right? Dear, your training, excuse me, proof. Okay. Or I can put it reject if it's not the case. So that's it. I've done my small workflow. Approval when somebody submit a request. Okay. Now let's see. That's it. So it took me like 5 minutes to do. So I will go to my app and try to run one. Okay. Training registration. This is my app. I want to register. Okay. 5. Training name. Power Automate. Attendees. Let's say it's David, for example. Okay. So I hit save. Cool. Okay, it's done. Right, let's see what happened here. I go to my flows, right? And remember the flow is, okay, this one. Okay, I have to rename it, but okay. So basically what I'm expecting here, so now I am on the flow, okay, on the flow that I created. It says created on this time. You see now it has automatically started. It says the flow started 8 seconds ago, okay? And if I want to see what is happening, what has started, I click on the flow. It says running. I will see that the flow is running. So it had triggered, okay, which is great. And it will tell me what has been in what you see, David, what I input. Okay? It gives me the on what record has this been triggered. And now it is here. And the small flag here means it's waiting. It's waiting for somebody to tell him something. And if I go to my emails, hopefully I can have it. Where is it? Right, it's not even, yeah, I can have it in my email, but better, I will show you in Teams. I receive it new approval request automatically in Teams, if you can see that. It says new training request. Sorry, I wrongly wrote that from David. Okay. It says David, the training name. I could have added a lot of requests here. So I can just say approve. So from Teams directly, I approve. I got the request. I approve. I could have approved that in mail as well. So then I got another Teams message to say, you have approved the request from David, etc., etc. Let's see what happened to the flow. Now the flow moves and it says, okay, tack, tack. So it goes to this way. Okay. You see the value is true because it is equal to approve. It should have sent an email to me saying your request has been approved. Let's see if I show you my email. You can see the mail is here. I open that email and it says, dear David, your training request has been approved. Here you go. Simple workflow, few minutes, and you are all good to go, right? So you can easily build some workflows like this, and it will take you a couple of minutes to create some basic workflow like it. And this is based on Microsoft Dataverse, right? So all my data are stored in Dataverse. As soon as I hit save, it goes and it saves my information, right? So this is one example, which is what we call an automated flow. Now you can create another one, which is pretty much the same, but schedule flow. Okay, schedule flow is the same with the only difference of you can schedule it to repeat every month, every minute, every second. Okay, right. So this is what it is. It looks exactly the same. Only the trigger point is different. So you can schedule that to run every month and to do something. Okay, it can be to fetch, to copy a file. It can be to run an action. It can, you see, you have interaction with Excel, interaction with a lot of stuff here. All right, so you can. There's a lot more that you can do. So you have built-in actions, you have standard action, and you have premium action. Premium action is basically what you have to pay. Okay, for that you have to get a Power Automate license, a Power Automate per user license. Then you can have access to those premium connectors. You see there are some nice connector, for example, convert to PDF. Okay, convert PDF to image, convert PDF to Excel. This kind of stuff is not as part of the Office 365. You have to pay and get another license. So you see you have Adobe PDF services, etc. If you want to use that. There's a lot more. These are all the connectors. There's a lot of them. So some of them are free, some of them you need an account to use. For example, if you want to go to all these third-party stuff, you'll need an account with them to be able to use that, right? All right, so this is the schedule, right? Now I would like to show you the desktop flow. Desktop flow is a bit different. Why? Because desktop flow is um, desktop flow is what gives you the ability to do RPA. Okay, by RPA I mean to replace the human by a bot to open an application, log in the application, go to a menu, etc. So this is what we call desktop flows. It allows you to rerun. For example, I'm clicking here. Uh, I'm doing this. I'm clicking here. I'm opening that. I'm doing that. All of this, you can record all of those steps, okay, and rerun all those. I'm trying to open my Power Automate desktop and show you what it looks like, right? So this is Power Automate desktop, right? It is free of charge. You can download it, install it, run it if you want to run it on a desktop. But if you need to publish it, then you need Power Automate license. So if I create a flow just to show you, okay, create. This is desktop flows. I'm on a desktop client application. I'm not on the portal, right? So it looks a little bit different. You will see. I've shown you how Power Automate looks like in the cloud. So now this is Power Automate desktop. Looks a little bit different. Right, so this is how it looks like. Completely different from what I've shown you. Here you have the concept of variables, uh, okay, which is a little bit different from what you've seen, loops, and a lot of actions, right? So you can see here, you have PDF actions. All of this you can use. But when you deploy it, then you need a license. You even have OCR, etc. So what you can do with that, right? So something very simple, you can just say, for example, I want to um, record, okay? So let me create one. Oops. Where is that? Okay, no, not this one. Workstation, right? Okay, no, not this one. Hello, am I disconnected? No, no, I'm not here. Okay, where is my? Uh, Terminator. Okay, something I'm missing here. Mm, 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 mm. Give me a minute. I'm just trying to check. There's one here. Okay, seems okay. Okay. Right. So let me use this one. Um, Sorry, let me start again. So this is my flow. This is a new flow. Okay, I will start by using the recorder, right? So to show you how I can capture steps. I can use recorder. Okay, where is that screen? And it will give me something like that, and I would say record, right? So in record, I can do whatever I want here. Here, let's wait here. So I go Power Admin Center. I can do anything. I can pretty much, you see that it is recording and capturing whatever I am doing. Okay. And it can replicate those steps. Okay. So let's say here I will type in Power Automate pricing, right? So I'll go to here. So this is what is happening at the back. He's recording all the steps and everything I'm doing so that I can I can reproduce that step afterwards. If I go to buy now, literally I can reproduce those steps. Now it's not only browsing. Imagine you log in an application, you open SAP, you type in your username and a password, log in, you go to a specific menu, you open an item and doing this or do that, whatever you want, you can do it using Power Automate Desktop. So you basically record whatever you do, and then obviously I will show you what happened when you record. This is what the result of the recording, right? So now on the result, you can come and change some stuff. You can say, I don't, okay, I don't want to do this. When login, use this username, use this password, or dynamically ask the user for a username and a password. So I can, you see, there are some keys which are I wrongly type in. For example, I can say this one I want to remove, okay, or move up, or move down, or disable this action, etc., or delete that action, right? So once I do that, okay, I can save my desktop flows is basically recording whatever you do on your screen, but the purpose is to be able to redo that step with some intelligence behind or with some parameters behind. So if I say run, okay, is it doing something? Okay, I've missed that. So you can see it's moving around, or is it? Let me close that and see first. Try to close everything, and then let's rerun it. Is it doing something? No. Where's that browser? I don't think he's doing something. Ah, okay. Failed to get. Okay, right. So I understand what happened is probably there's something missing here. I'll tell you why. What is missing is I have to open a browser first. Because remember when I did capture that event, I had a browser running. So I have to open a browser and then run that within that. So what I can do is go to browser automation and then go to a web page. Okay. Okay, let's see. For example, I can be anything. Let's see if now it works. Let me see. I'll get to my wait a minute. So I will do this instead. Yes, exactly. So save, and then here uses the previous instance. Here you go. All right, okay. So let's do that. URL can't be empty, okay? Okay. All right, so let's do like this. Run. Let's see. Okay, seems to be running. All right, so this is the browser. Oops, open up here. Okay, what else? Oh, that's it. Ah, okay. All right, so something else is missing. Or is it? Let me do it again because I think I might have missed something. Yeah, let's start again. So, okay. All right, so record. I'll do something else. I'll open Excel. So recording started. Okay. So what I will do is open Excel. You see, right? So choose a blank workbook. Okay. Type in some values. Right. Close that Excel. Don't save it. For example, that's it. Finish. I started from scratch, right? So let's see. Right. So let's see what happened. Right. So run that. Okay. Close everything so you can see what is happening. Run. Is it running or what? A minute now. So again, no, why not? Okay, fail to press button. Ah, okay. Okay, this is all right. Okay, okay, okay. Let me start again. Huh? I shouldn't have pressed the button because it doesn't understand the button. I've used the window button, so it doesn't understand that window button. So I will start again. Okay, let me show you that again. I think I'll have to duplicate my screen because you won't see what is happening. Let me duplicate my screen. Let's see now. Okay. Run again. What is happening? Nothing. Again, guess what happened? Why is it saying button? I don't have a button. Sorry, yeah. Let's start again. Okay. Do it again. Open Excel. Choose a blank workbook. Yes. And then type in something. Close that. Don't save. Complete the recording. Okay. Close that. Run it again and see. Okay, now it's doing that on its own. I'm not touching anything. What happened? That's it. Just again. Right, so you can see it's starting Excel.
We can't see the screen.
Ah, excuse me. Ah, what happened? Share again. Huh? Okay. Let me start again, right? So this is the what has been recorded. I'll run it through. So you can see it presses the button, open Excel, choose a file, um, open a blank. Now it's doing it on its own, right? I'm not touching anything. So it's
I need to
opening.
start it again, boss. We did it. So
Excuse me?
you need to start it again because we
Ah, okay,
couldn't see
okay.
the
All right,
screen
all
at
right.
first.
All right. Okay, okay. Let me start again. Let me start again.
Sorry,
Okay,
just
so
trying to
yeah,
follow.
of course, yeah. All right. So can everybody see now my screen? I'm on desktop flows, right? You can see my screen. I'll create a new flow. Okay, I'll give it a name. Create. And now I can start by building myself, or I can start recording. So I will do recording, and we'll choose something else. So I would say recorder. I go to the recorder, and then I would say record, and it will start recording all the actions. So let us wait. So you can see as soon as you hover your mouse, it creates some stuff. So now I'm recording. I'm opening Excel. Right now I'm doing it. Okay, I'm opening Excel. I'm clicking a blank workbook. You can see it will just highlight it in red. Okay, open a workbook, type in some values, right? And then that's it. I just want to stop there. I will close the Excel. I won't save, right? This is what I did manually. I will just close the recording for now. Okay, let's see now what the automate has given us. So the result is something like that. Okay. So this is the result. It has said, press button, open Excel, create blank workbook, wait 2 seconds, send keys, type 123, and wait 2 seconds and then close, right? If I rerun this, see what happened. I just click on run. You see now it's doing some stuff. So you see now this is automatically done. I am not clicking anything, not even touching the mouse. So it opens up Excel. And then we type in some values or not. Ah, okay, okay. Okay, there are some errors that probably you have to check. But anyway, the idea of the recorder is to allow you to track everything that you have done on your desktop. This is why it is called Power Automate Desktop. It really allows you to automate desktop activities compared to the Power Automate that we've seen so far. It allows you to create a process, but this one allows you to automate what you can do on a normal user can do on a desktop, right? This is the main difference. And apart from those actions that are captured using the recorder, you can do your own stuff here. You can say, for example, workstation, print a document. Okay, you can give it instruction, what document to print. So you can dynamically put a document here or manually put a document here. Okay, so the instruction, what will happen is it will print the document. Okay, it will send a print. So what happened when you say print document, it will send it to your default printer, right? For example, you can even say before that, set a default printer. Can you choose from your printers? Okay, so this is all actions that you can do that normally a human would do. Okay, select file, print, open the document, but here you can fully automate everything. And as soon as this is done, you can even lock the workstation. Remember, this is a robot that is doing that. After the robot has logged in the machine, etc., he can just lock the workstation and as if a human has locked the workstation, right? So there's a number of actions that you can do like this that really automate. You can even log off the user, right? So once it's done, you log off the user. So from a security perspective, it's better because remember, this is all done by a bot that sits on the machine. This is a bot that sits on the user machine, right? So it has to execute in a user context. You have to give the bot a username and a password to log in, or it has to be a normal user. This is how you treat them, right? So this is Power Automate Desktop. It's very powerful and it replicates literally what a normal user would do as compared to the flows that I have shown you, which are mainly what I've shown you earlier today is Power Automate flows, which are basically workflows that you can create. But Power Automate Desktop allows you to simulate what a normal user would do on a desktop, right? So let me talk to you now on licensing because it's interesting to understand licensing there. Okay, so if you look at the licensing page from Microsoft, you would see that there is something that you have to understand. There are different type of licenses, right? Let me go here. Maybe it's better. Yes. Okay. No, not this one. This one. Right. So from a licensing perspective, Power Automate, same as Power Apps, you have licensing. So you can buy Power Automate per user plan, right? So this gives a user access to unlimited number of flows. Right now we're talking flows, right? Flows, just to understand what we are talking about, so we are on the same line here. Flows is whatever I created, right? So you can all see my screen, right? So flows is here.
Yes, we can.
My flows.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you. So flows is whatever you have created here. I've created that small flow that sends an approval. This is what we call a flow. Okay. So you want to start an approval. You want to do an automation. These are all flows. So to create flow, you need a license. Okay. You need a license per user. So it's $15 per user per month, allows you to create unlimited number of flows. So now what you have to understand and what you have to know is, as part of your Office 365 offering, starting business standard or business premium, I'm not sure, but I think business standard, the minimum is business standard, you have the ability to create flows, right? But there is a limitation, and I want to show you the limitation. So whatever you have in Office 365, it's not really properly documented. You have to look for it, and I will look for it for you because it's important that you understand. I often have the page and then I lose it. So Office 365 Power Automate license, right? Mm. So in your Office 365, there is, so I have to, I could have found in the licensing guide, but then it's a bit it's a huge document. So let's go through it. Doesn't matter. Okay, let's wait for it. You're used to that document, right? The Power Platform licensing guide. Okay, this gives you a lot of information, especially when we talk to Power Platform. It's not easy stuff. So it's a bit complicated when it comes to Power Apps and Power Automate licensing, right? So let's go to Power Automate. Right, so Power Automate, right? Not this part. Right. No, this is Dynamics 365. It's not what. Okay. Power Automate rights included with Office 365 license. This is what you want to read here, right? So you have limited Power Automate use rights within Office 365 licenses, right? And it starts with a business premium. Okay, M365 business premium, M365 F3, free, etc., etc. All these you have the right to use Power Automate. But what is limited? Right, it's a bit complicated to see what is limited. Let me show you. Right, first limitation is this. Power Automate in terms of context and connectors. You are limited to embedding, you are limited to using connectors which are part of the Office 365 ecosystem only. You do not have data connectors to go to other applications apart from Office 365. So it means that the flow that you would create can interact with Power Apps, can interact with Power Automate, can interact with any other Office applications, but not with other applications, right? Not even Dynamics 365. Okay, this is important to you to understand, right? Um, so you can create cloud flows, automated, instant, and schedule. This you can create. It's included, right? Business process flows, it's not included or limited. Desktop flows is included. Connectors, standard connectors are included. Premium connectors and custom connector not included. On-premise data gateway not included. Okay, there are a couple of stuff that you can Dataverse or common data service. You have some use rights that you can do, but it's limited, right? So what you have to understand, I'm looking for that piece of information. It's not so easy. Not here, not here. Where is that? Okay, I'll find it for you. Okay, I can't find it here, but I should find it somewhere. Anyway, I'll find it afterwards. I'll send it to you. So what I'm trying to look for is when you have a normal Office 365 account, not a Power Automate plan, proper plan. You have only Office 365. You are limited to the number of boxes that you can put here. Each box is what we call an API call. Okay? Each box is an API call. This is how Microsoft calls it. Even if, okay, we are not, it's not really API that you're calling, but in a way it's API call. So you are limited to 5,000 API calls per month. Okay, so whatever be the number of workflows, you are limited to 5,000 API call in a month. What does that mean? If, let us say, I have, I don't know, if I look at my account here, I am running a normal E3 account. I have, I don't know, 15, 25 workflows, right? So if each one of these workflows, if I look at another one, each of them has got 3 APIs called like this, okay? So if I have like 30, it means that I have 30 times 3 API calls, right? 90 API calls that I'm allowed per workflow. Now imagine if this guy runs 30 times a day. Okay, so it's each and every one would run X number of times per month. If this one runs 10 times a day, or it depends, I don't know when a row is added, it means, I don't know if I have thousands of rows per month, it would run 1,000 times. And 1,000 times 3, 3,000 times. So I'm already 3,000 API calls. So you can reach very easily that 5,000 API calls, right? So you have to understand that if tomorrow you see, oh, your customers tells you that, okay, they have created the flows, but the flow doesn't run or stopped somewhere and they don't know why. One of the reason could be that, you know, they have exceeded their number of runs, because in a normal Office 365, you have a limited number of runs or API calls, right? It should be somewhere there in the document. I would find it and send it to you. Okay, I'll find it in the proper document. I don't have it there, but it's definitely limited, right? Okay, but you have to understand this. And now let's get back to what.
Sorry, I have a question just
Yes,
before you
sir.
exhaust that part. I don't know if. So what if the API calls are exhausted? After that, is it dependent on the license that maybe the organization has subscribed to, or it is just pegged at 5,000, whichever the
No,
license you've
no.
subscribed to?
Well, if you do not buy any Power Apps license, sorry, in a Power Automate, now I'm in a situation where I'm telling you,
Yeah.
you do not, let us say you have a customer that have not buy any Power Automate license, for example, neither the $15 nor the $40. He hasn't bought anything. He's just using it as part of his 365 normal. So as part of Office 365, he can use workflow, as you can see here. Power Automate use rights included with Office 365. He can use the workflow, but the workflow will be limited to like I said, 5,000 execution. So what happens if they reach 5,000 execution? It will only mean that the 5,000, the workflow will not execute itself for the month, but the next month it will be reset. You know, it's another 5,000.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, so every
It
month
makes sense now.
5,000.
It makes sense now. Yes, thanks.
But very often I have got a lot of customers using Office 365 and workflows, etc. I haven't really seen those, you know, number of API call that we have reached maximum, or I don't know how really it works, huh, honestly. I just read the document and it says 5,000, but I don't really know. Even Microsoft was not able to really explain what exactly is the API call. Is it one box is an API call or one workflow is an API call? I'm not too clear on that, but the explanation from Microsoft is each block is an API call. Okay, this is what I got, right? But it's not really properly documented, but I guess start and approval is an API call. When a row is added is an API call. The if is not an API call, but the send an email is an API call. You know, so it depends on really the workflow. But basically, this is a good document. It gives you within Office 365, what can you do? Okay, and what can you do with Power Automate? Now let's get back to if you want to buy proper license, what do you do? If you don't want to have those limitations, you buy this license per user. So basically you buy this and then you will be able to create flows, unlimited flows per user without any limitation on number of execution, right? Oh, now this is a per user license. Now you can buy a per user plan with attended RPA. Now, what is attended RPA is the ability to use automation or RPA, like I've shown you with the Power Automate desktop. If you want to use RPA with AI, okay, then you have to use this plan, which is $40, which is attended RPA. Attended RPA means it requires a user to trigger the flow at some point, right? So this is attended RPA with AI. So you have 5,000 AI service credit. This is again per user. Now, if you want to go per flow, this costs you $100 per flow, okay? And you buy a minimum of 5 flows, etc. So this is what you pay, $100, right? Per flow license. Now, if you want to go for so these are the details and what you have on a per user plan, on a per user with attended RPA, etc. So now if you want unattended RPA, unattended means it's the bot that logs in the machine. So you attribute a license to the bot, unattended. You don't need user interaction, no human interaction. So unattended RPA, you need to buy an add-on of $150. Add-on to what? Add-on to that one of those. You either buy the $40 or the $15, okay? And then you top up, if you want unattended, you top up $150 per month, you have a bot. The bot can be assigned to a workstation and the bot will be a user on, it's like a human behind his PC, okay? And the bot costs you $150 per month. And the bot can do unlimited number of flows, and the bot has got 5,000 AI credit service. And then it can just do stuff for you as if a human would do it, right? It would receive an instruction and do it, or it would every day log into a machine every morning, log into a machine, take some stuff. Okay, you can imagine a bank wanted to do something like that, wanted to have a bot that every morning reads a shared folder and then take that document from that shared folder. You can imagine it can be signatures, signatories, etc. Open the core banking system, upload the signature for each signatories, update the signature for each signatory. So I remember talking to a bank which has got like, I don't know, 500 to 1,000 of signature change per day, sorry. So we wanted to have a bot to do that signature upload. It's just a signature file. They want to upload that in their core banking system. So they wanted to go for a bot that would do that. So this is a scenario where you can use an attended RPA. Okay. So, and these are the costing for the unattended RPA.
Katika mifumo yote ya battery, nini kinachofanyika?
Sorry, say that again.
We save the energy into the chemical and then we change the chemical into the energy.
I cannot hear you properly. Imani, I can't hear you properly. Can you please phrase it again? Imani? Did you have a question? Hello?
No question. I'm fine.
Ah, sorry. I thought somebody was talking and I thought it was you. Oh, was it somebody else, please? No? Okay, all right, good. Right, so so this is pretty much what is just very quickly on the slide. Let me just share that back again. Right, so these are templates. You can use them to create flows. Right, so just we are aligned on jargons here, right? When we talk about flows, right, it's whatever sits in the cloud, right? When you talk about RPAs, it's whatever you can do using the Power Automate desktop, right? So flows is basically the workflow that you would save in the Power Automate cloud, right? Right, okay, cool. So we've talked about trigger, we've talked about schedule flows, right? So it's quite easy to build, right? So it's not that complex to create flows. You have what we call button flows. Button flows allow you to start manually a workflow. Okay, so now see, we have a mobile app for Power Automate. There is a mobile app. You can download the mobile app, install it on your machine, and trigger workflow directly from that mobile app, the Power Automate app, right? And the button flow is used for that. Okay, if you want to trigger an app, you want to do it via a button, or you could have done it via a power app, right? But if you want to do it for a button, you can do it. For example, here, send myself a reminder in 10 minutes, these kind of stuff, right? Gadget stuff, but yeah, you can do it, right? This is what we call manually trigger a workflow, right? So approval workflow, we've created that. So you've seen that it is out of the box. Now you have the ability to create what we call business process flows. Business process flows is closely related to model-driven app. Okay, it works only with model-driven app. So basically, it tells you when you finish a step, go to the next step. For those that are used to Microsoft Dynamics, CRM, for example, sales, if you the Microsoft Dynamics sales starts with the first screen, and then when you hit save, it goes to the next screen, and then next screen, and then next screen. This is what we call business process flow. It guides the user through the different screens, right? So, and you can create those flows in business process flow, right? So this is the idea of business process flow, is to guide the user switch from one screen to the other, right? All right. Questions on Power Automate? No? Okay, so just very quickly, going back to this one. Right, so I just want to show you now how you could include in a workflow any of those AI builder, right? It's quite simple. You want to include AI builder in one of your flows. You just add a new step here, and then you choose AI builder, right? Sorry, SharePoint. You use AI builder, and in the AI builder, now you have the ability to say, for example, detect the language being used in the text. All right, so that's it. You choose the model you want to use. You have the text here, okay, which can come from anything. Okay, this is not applicable, but you can just write the text, okay, and it will just give you an outcome. Let's say hello. I will just quickly test that. Let me know. I can't do that here. I'll do another workflow where I can show you. I'll do a simple instant cloud workflow. Okay, instant is I want to trigger that using a button, right? See that? Instant with a button. I will just use AI builder. Okay, and in AI builder, I will say detect the language. That's it. Okay, so and I would say good afternoon. Simple stuff that I've shown you. Let's save that. And we can just test it like this because it's a manual flow, right? Doesn't need a trigger point, right? So I will just rename that AI builder, right? Simple, just save it. And if you want to test it, there's a small test button here. Straight away test it, and you say manually test, and it gives you a button which says run flow. Okay, and let's see, right? The flow is running. You see if your flow is running, and tuck tuck, it's completed within 3 seconds. And let's see, good afternoon, the language is English. Perfect. Okay, and 0.98 in terms of the score. Okay, it was nearly 100% sure that good afternoon is in English, right? So this is, you have used simple stuff, looks simple, but at the back there, remember at the back there is an AI engine. Yes. Sorry? No? Okay, all right. So at the back there is an engine that detects the language. I could have wrote, I don't know how to write in Spanish, but yeah. You can write in any language that you want, as far as it is understood. You have the ability to detect, but not only to detect, now you can say classify, okay, or extract information, right? Extract from invoices is key, right? So I don't know if I can say classify. Okay, into categories.
At least we transfer.
Right, so I can say language, let's say English, and the text to classify is I don't know, is send me a code. Let's see what happened. Okay, let's test that. Okay, now I have given him the language, but we could have used detect language and then, categorize. But let's do it like this and see what happened. Right, complement. Okay, it's not good. Okay, not really complement, but maybe I should have put, I don't know, maybe I've done it wrong. Let's see again. Let's test that one. Okay, maybe the AI engine is not so accurate. Okay, you have to, I haven't taught the model, so you have to teach the model. It doesn't work well now. It's saying complement. It's not good. But you have to teach the model. I've just used the model without teaching the model anything. What we have without giving him anything. So yeah, probably this is why it's not picking up. But anyway, you have that ability to use that here. Okay, probably we have to do something a bit more precise here, adding a bit more intelligence to that. This is too easy to do. But anyway, you have the ability here to include in your flow AI model. Okay.
Today, yeah, healthy or yeah,
Sorry. Hello. You... All right. Okay. All right. So this is how you can include AI model, and you can have AI builder here. All the models are being stored here. You can create your own model, okay, or you can use existing model. Okay, sometimes the existing model doesn't really work well, as you have seen right now. Some does work well, some doesn't really work well. So you have to create your own model. Creating a model means defining an algorithm and defining and give him teach him a little bit, right? Give him a data set so that you can teach him. But there are a couple of models, so you can create your own model, right? So you can build a model here, and the model will be based on all those existing model. So it can be text or image recognition, right? Or prediction. You can choose whatever model you want, and then from there you create your own model. This is the best way to do, actually. You use the existing model that Microsoft provides you, and then you build on top of that, right? All right. Cool. So this is, again, you have the ability to share the workflow, with somebody else, if you want to have two owners of the workflow, it means that you need somebody else to modify that workflow apart from you. You can share it. Okay. You can save a copy of it. You can send a copy. You can export it. You can view analytics. You can turn it off if you don't want to use it. For example, I want to turn it off. I don't want to use it. I want to disable that. I can also delete it. Okay, this is what I will do. I will delete the flows because I don't need them, and I will delete that one as well, right? So this is a couple of stuff that you can do, right? Okay, right. So if you need to, now this is where you, okay, there's a small install button here. If you need to download Power Automate Desktop, you can download it from there. If you need your flow to connect to on-premise data, there's a small application that you have to connect and download, which is called On-Premise Data Gateway. You need that application to be able to download, to connect to on-premise data, right? You need that installed on a server, on a machine somewhere, on-premise, so that this flow can connect to that gateway and connect to your database, because else it won't be able to connect because this is cloud. Public cloud can't connect to your on-premise data sources, right? All right. Do we have any questions on Power Automate, please? Okay, because I'm going to switch to something else. No? All right, okay. So our next item would be Power BI. I think this is pretty much familiar, right, to you guys. So let's talk a bit on Power BI. So Power BI is your data analytics tool, right? So what can you do with Power BI? Right, so first of all, Power BI is in line with the Microsoft strategy to do self-service BI, right? This is the idea of Power BI. Because previously Microsoft had a BI offering, which was around SQL Server and SharePoint, right? So with Performance Point, etc., you could have heard Performance Point at some point in SharePoint 2010. So Microsoft has walked away from Performance Point, so it doesn't exist anymore in SharePoint. So now you have only Power BI, right? Of course, you have other reporting tool, which is reporting services, but which is pretty much a reporting tool or paginated reporting tool. But Power BI is a real dashboard, right? It gives you analytics. So Power BI has got the ability to connect to a lot of data sources, right? So not only SQL Server, but Oracle, Microsoft and non-Microsoft sources, right? Power BI can connect to structured and unstructured data. It can connect to CSV, it can connect to even a website, right? It's very, very powerful in terms of what it can connect to. Obviously, it can connect to the Microsoft Dataverse, right? So Power BI has got three different aspects, right? So I just want to show you some concepts behind Power BI. First of all is about capacity. So Power BI uses and has access to a number of resources. So Power BI are stored in the cloud, in the Power BI cloud, and Power BI has a notion of storage capacity, right? So each Power BI report has got a maximum storage capacity. This is the first thing. We'll talk about that later on. Workspaces. Everybody that has got a Power BI account has got a workspace. What is the use of a workspace? It's for you to create and publish your report. This is the use of a workspace, or even share it with other users, right? Another concept is data sets. Data set is the actual data that is that resides behind your Power BI report, right? So when you connect to a data source, Power BI import that data and then render that data for you. So there's a concept of data set and shared data set. Shared data set is used across multiple reports. And then we have a concept of reports. Reports is the actual pages that you're seeing with the charts, etc. And then dashboards is like a multi report container, right? Dashboard allows you to view multiple parts of multiple reports on the same screen, right? So this is basically what is the difference between reports and dashboard. We'll talk about that in a while. So first of all, Power BI, let me just switch this one. I don't want to. The first ability of Power BI is to be able to connect and retrieve and get data. This is the first portion of Power BI, getting data. Getting data means you can connect to any data source and bring the data back to Power BI, right? So it can connect to Excel files, to databases, to any SaaS providers like Salesforce, Facebook, Google Analytics, unstructured web pages. Okay, it can easily connect to those pages and do some stuff, right? This is the first ability of Power BI, is to connect and retrieve data. Second is you have a rendering tool, right? So that allows you to present data, right? So another faculty of Power BI is data presentation, right? So it gives you nice and look and feel and layout, as you can see. So what are the different options that you have to create Power BI reports? There are three options. You either use Power BI desktop tool, or you use Power BI mobile, but mobile is only to access, you can't even create. Or you can use Power BI service. Power BI service is Power BI cloud, right? There are three ways that you can access a report and two ways where you can create report. Create report is using desktop and service, and to view is desktop, mobile, and service. Okay, the three of them. Right. So Power BI has got another aspect, which is data modeling. Data modeling means to transform the data, right? To modify the data, but not at source, but in a staging area, in an intermediate layer. Power BI will modify the data for you for that data to be presentable, but Power BI doesn't have the ability to go and modify the source data, right? So I will give you an example of Power BI, what you can do and to what you can connect. I'll open Power BI desktop on my machine. So again, I am using Power BI desktop here, right? Power BI desktop allows me to create reports, right? So I could have created that with the cloud, but I will show you the difference. Okay, just give me 2 minutes. I'm opening up my Power BI desktop. I'll just meanwhile open up also my Power BI cloud instance, right? So just a word on licensing again, guys. Power BI license. Right, important to understand as well. Okay. So to be able to use Power BI, you need to buy a Power BI Pro license, which costs you about $10, right? This is a per user per month license. So there are two types of per user license, a per user and a premium per user. Premium per user gives you the ability to use AI in your reports, and another feature which is paginated report, right? So if you look at those functionality metrics here, so with Power BI Pro, you can have mobile app access, publish report, but the difference is you don't have paginated report, which is previously reporting services. And look at the capacity. If you buy a pro account, per model means per report, you can go up to 1 gigabyte per report. But if you are on a premium, you go 100 gigabyte per report. Okay. And then look at this, the maximum storage. If you have a pro account, you can go up to 10 gigabytes for all your reports. It means that if you have one report worth 1 gigabyte, you can create only 10 reports. But with premium, you can have 100 terabytes. But again, 1 gigabyte is a lot for a report. Okay, I'll explain to you why. So let me show you what is Power BI Desktop. So let's get it clear. Power BI Desktop is a free tool. This tool is a free tool. You can download it. You can start building your report for free. Why do you need a Power BI Pro account then? You need a Power BI Pro to publish that to the cloud. If you do not have a Power BI Pro account, you cannot publish that to the Power BI cloud. So why do you need to publish it to the cloud? To be able to share it with somebody else. Because if you create a report and you want to consume it yourself, then there is no need to publish it, right? So you create a report, you use it as Excel, okay? I'll give you an example. I'll create a report, and this is one of the aspects of Power BI. You see, you can connect to Dataverse. Let me connect to Dataverse. I want to show you that I can connect to the data that I've created so let me connect to my Dataverse environment. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay. I'm just connecting to my environment. Huh? So here it asks you to give the environment domain, right? So just create that. Well, give that very quickly. Okay, let me sign in. Okay. Oops. Give it a minute. Why is it not connecting? Okay, for now, I think I have. Let me do it from Excel. I'll connect it later on. I need to have the connection details. Right, so let me try to do something very quickly. I'll connect to my report to Power BI Excel, and then we'll do it from there. Okay, so here my Excel report, I have a list of customers. Very quickly, I can just say load. Okay, so this is the first ability of Power BI. Can connect to an existing system, connect to any source, right? Excel, for example. Okay. So this is what happened. Gives you an Excel file, and you have free view sorry, three views: report, table, and relationship or model. So if I look at my table view, I look at my customers, I can see it here, right? But you can see that it has not imported properly my table, because the column, my column like customer ID, customer name, and city is not really interpreted as a column. So now I will show you the second aspect of Power BI, which is transformation, right? Power BI can connect, as you can see, connect, retrieve, but can also transform. What does transformation mean? Transformation is something very interesting in BI, in the BI world in general. So you can see here, it has wrongly identified, doesn't recognize that this is a column. I have a small feature here which says use first row header. That's it. I just do that. I hit save and close. It will just now transform the data and make it a header. And we can see it's now building the model. Okay. And now if I double check, it's fine, right? So now I can start bringing some more data. Okay. These are my customers. I can bring some more data. Okay. Let's say I want to bring orders, product, date, some more data, right? To create my report. Okay, all right, so the data are there. So you can see here, I have date, I have orders, and I have product. So I can easily build a report. I could just have to choose a visual here. Let's say I want a pie chart. Choose the pie chart, and then you can drop, like Excel, how do you want to present that pie chart? The values, I want to present here my orders, and I have here order amount. Okay, and it now asks me what are the details. How do you want to view that order amount? I want to view that by city. I just click and drag city. It starts building up my chart. Do you want a legion? I can say I want a legion. The legion would be, for example, no, I would just stay like that, city and amount. I want to create a line chart here. Again, I want to measure the amount, but now I want to measure, for example, by date. Okay, so I want to go here and I want to say by order date, right? So now look at that. I've put date. See what happened. It gives me automatically a concept of year, and I have a feature which says drill down. When I click on 2021, okay, all right. So it gives me quarter. When I click on quarter, it gives me month. You see, and when I click on month, it gives me day, and I go up. I can go up like this. I can go 2022 if I have some value. In 2022, I have June, July. I can click, I have December, and I can click on December and have the different dates, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have drill down capabilities. Automatically, you have drill down capabilities, right? So this is my first line, which is order amount. I can have a second line, which is quantity. Quantity by order amount. So it's very easy once you have the data to start building. So it's just a question of selecting the visual and then plotting the different values. So when you plot a column of type date, you can see what happens here. Automatically, it gives you year, quarter, month, day. It will automatically break down this. This is what we call time-based intelligence. The Power BI has got time-based intelligence. Now, if you want to put filter, as you would normally do, so you can click here. There's something called a slicer. Oh, sorry. Click here, slicer, and then you can say here, you want to filter by, up to you. You want to add date, fair enough. You can add date, and you can say, look at that. So you have a very nice looking filter, which is filtering like this, and everything gets filtered, right? It's a kind of a modern kind of filter, so you can easily filter instead of those classic kind of filter. This is different, right? And you can change it. You can say I want to have before, or I want to have after, or I want to have a list, which is more like a classic kind of view, or I want to have a relative date. Okay, and this is cool because it's the last 1 day, last 1 week, last 1 month, last 2 months, or 3 months. Yeah? Gives you value for the last 3 months or last year, last 2 years only. You see, that's very cool. Only give you last 2 years, next 2 years if you have prediction values, or you can say this year, okay, this month, okay, this year. It's cool. It gives you ability to filter, but it's a different kind of filter. Yeah. So I can say the next 2 years or the previous last 2 years, right? So it's cool. Give you a number of ways that you can filter the data, right? So once you've done with creating your data like that, then you can say, I would like to save my data. Oops, I wrongly wrote that. And then you can, now if you want to share that, fair enough, then you say publish. Publish to Power BI. Now you need an account, okay? And you can publish it on, like I've told you previously, everybody that has got an account has got a workspace in the cloud. You can put it in a workspace, or you can put it on Teams. All those are Teams, okay? Teams group that I'm part of, but I will put it in my workspace, and I will hit publish, and it is going to be published in my workspace, and my workspace looks like this. Okay, Power BI Cloud. So now I am on my Power BI Cloud Pro account. So this is Power BI Pro account. Okay, so I have my workspace here. You can click here and see all the reports that I have, right? So all those reports are being put here. So I can see all my reports. I can click on them. I can share them. Okay, let's see the one that we've recently created, which is, I think, where is it? Okay, not yet published. Yeah, it's published. So let's see. It's called training. Training not pop. Okay, here's it. Okay, I've wrongly written that, but anyway. So this is, now I'm browsing the report through the cloud service. It's the same feel, okay? The same exact use, the same feel, okay? It doesn't really change much in terms of, I can also click here to have the interaction, right? It doesn't really change, right? I can also do what I've done on the Power BI cloud, Power BI desktop, right? So the only difference is now I can share this with somebody else. But the people or the persons that I'm sharing it to also need to have a Power BI Pro account. If they do not have a Power BI Pro account, they won't be able to access the link. So everybody accessing a Power BI report must have a Power BI Pro account, minimum a Pro. You can also have Pro Premium, right? Premium per user, or Pro is the minimum. And obviously you can go for Premium, right? So this is what you can do in Power BI, right? So quickly create reports, and then you can have some nicer look and feel, right? You can create some, basically Power BI allows you to create some nice report depending on your data. Let me show you another way looking at a report. You can do, for example, you can have maps. Okay, if I show you the ability of those maps, they're quite good actually. Right, so if I say right here, it asks me for a location. I think that city would work. Check, does it work? Right, so you can see that it just gives me, no, it doesn't work, not good. Oh, okay, Orlando works, okay. It says, right, so now this is good. It says Orlando, and I want to know how many sales I'm doing for Orlando. I'll put it in size. So you can see here, the bigger the circle, the bigger the sales. So it says in LA, my sales is 93000, right? California, so it recognized that, in Orlando it works as well. It says Orlando, Florida, 10,000, right? So the map works quite well. I've only used a column which says city, and it's quite basic. The city, if I show you what it has, only this. Some even are wrongly written. Los Angeles is sometimes written LA, you see. So, but anyway, it works. So that Asia is not correct because OL, I think it's interpreting that for some country, some region in Asia. I don't even know where. Okay. It's because it's OL should have been Orlando anyway. Even Europe, it's saying CA in Europe. I don't know why. Okay, it's interpreting something. But anyway, so you can see that the map works, right? Something else that would be interesting is, and this is something very interesting, is something called decomposition tree. This is quite interesting. If I show you that order amount, so it asks you, what do you want to analyze? I want to analyze order amount, and it says explain by. How do you want to explain what you have? If I put order amount here, it means $238,200, for example. So what does that mean? It means that I have made that much sales. But if you want to understand by which city you made that sales, you add city. If you want to understand what year you've made that sales, what month, okay, what category of product, okay, what subcategory of product, you can explain all those here, and this is what it gives you. Order amount 238,200. I want to know by which city. So if you choose city, this is what happened. Let me remove this one so you have some space. So this is what happened. It says, and this is totally, once you have designed it, it is the user who chooses, or the business, the one consuming the report who chooses. He's actually doing his own analysis. He would say, okay, so LA, I'm doing more. So let's see LA, what year? Okay, so he will have LA by year now. He would say, okay, 2021. Let me see now 2021. What category of product? Okay, doesn't work. Okay, well, fine. Maybe I don't have category. Okay, there are some problems in my relationship because I haven't done that anyway. All right, fine. Okay, it's cool. All right. Let's start that again. Okay, let's start that again. Decomposition tree. I want to have order amount explained by year, by quarter, by month, by city, by product category. And I think, let me just look at my, okay, so you have to build a model, right? So it is important to build a model. So why is it not working? Because it couldn't find the relationship between those two tables, right? And then here as well. Okay, now it should be correct. Right, so now if I say order date, I want to view by city. Fine, I got the information, I will get it by city. Los Angeles, I want to view by category. I see, okay, category is blank. I can add up, for example, subcategory, I think. And all these are interactive here. I can add subcategory. Okay, I don't have much information, but I think if I click on CA, I will see electronics. California is household, and I don't have any oven. Okay, fine. And if I want to see which year, I can see which year. So you're doing your own analysis, self-service BI. Nothing is preset. The only thing you preset in this view is you've given the amount that you want to analyze and explain by what. And once you do that, the user can click and choose whatever they want. And they can start all over again. They can say, no, don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. Let me start all over again. Now I want to view by year first. I want to understand what I'm doing by year. 2021, okay, perfect. 2021, I want to see by quarter. Okay, quarter 4, okay, interesting. Let me see by month, right? So once they add it, the others will come automatically, right? So you build and you do your own analysis, right? This is all in the visual, right? It's the visual that allows you to do that. So basically Power BI, if you have the data, the visual will come automatically, and you just have to have the data, choose the visual, and put the proper fields in the different visual, a bit like Excel. Now there's one difference, right? Let me take you to the cloud, right? This is my cloud, my workspace. I'll give you an example of some. This is an example of a report that you can create. Looks like a complete report. So when you click on Carlos, you can see all sales by Carlos. And when you click on this one, it will just filter up, etc. Right? So this is exactly what we've done, but in a more elaborated way, because here we have more information, right? Okay. Now what you can do here is you can take those reports and say, okay, I want to have, let me see an overview. Okay, these are different pages that I have on my report. This is an overview. I want to take an overview and I want to create, let me show you something else. Okay, there's something called a dashboard. Right? Whatever I've shown you so far is a report, and now I want to show you a dashboard. The dashboard has pretty much the same look, with one difference is you can ask questions. I've told you about self-service BI. This is Q&A on BI. You don't need to create the report. You ask question to your report. What is my total sales? And that's it. Gives you the total sales by city. So when you ask question like this, Power BI AI engine creates the report for you. So maybe it doesn't have by city, by month, or by year, maybe. Right? Okay, it's only 2014. Okay, let's see, by store. All right, so it gives me the report. You don't have to create the report, right? In Power BI generally, because the idea that we have on reporting is that IT create reports and you consume report. Power BI is not really the case. You can do it this way, obviously, but it's not mandatory that you do it this way. You can create your own report by querying the data in normal, natural language, English language, right? You can say, what is my revenue if you don't want to use sales? Sorry. Doesn't want to. Okay. Sometimes it doesn't pick up. So yeah. Okay. Anyway, so this is pre-built report, but you can use report by creating and asking questions to your data. You say, what is the total? This is suggestion. Okay, it gives you suggestion based on your data. As soon as you click here, it gives you suggestion. Okay, what you can choose. What is the total sales variant by category? Right. So this is also, and these all suggestions are automatically provided based on the AI engine. So it reads the data, understand your data, and suggests you some questions that you can ask to query your. It's another way of doing data mining. You know, it's not creating charts anymore, but it's typing plain English questions or French or whatever you want, and then it will give you the data, and you can use the data from there, right? So this is another way of getting data from Power BI, right? Okay, right. So so I've told you about licensing on Power BI, right? So Power BI has got also premium by capacity, which costs about $85 per virtual core per 24 hours. But this is a more complex scenario. If you have many users and you don't want to go per user, you can also go for premium by per capacity, right? Instead of per user. So you can go for this as well, right? Premium per capacity costs you about $5,000 a month. Okay, and it doesn't have any limitation, or it does have a limitation, but not by user. But you have a lot of space and you have unlimited number of users, right? Right. Okay. So this is what you have in terms of what you can do in Power BI, right? So it's not only creating reports, creating, sharing, and obviously, querying data using natural query language, right? Any questions, please? Anyone? Comments, question? Yes, sir. I think I have a question from Prithviraj. Do you have a question? Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can we build a dashboard from an MS list?
From a?
From an MS list,
Yes,
Microsoft
yes,
list.
can. Yes, obviously. Yeah, definitely. You can create a Power BI report. Let me connect that. You can create a Power BI report that connects to a Microsoft list. Basically, for information, this is Microsoft list. For those that doesn't not aware or not familiar with Microsoft list, Microsoft list is a component that allows you to create some small table like in Dataverse, but it's basically some small table that usually sits in a Microsoft in a SharePoint list, right? But yeah, so it's kind of a small table. If I create one just to show you, this is a Microsoft list. I can create from a blank list. I can say training list, right? So Microsoft list is basically a small database, a little bit like, it can look like a Dataverse, but it's not really Dataverse, but it works a little bit like Dataverse. So I can add columns. So this is Microsoft list, right? So I can add a column of single line of text and say training details. So I'm creating my table basically here, right? And I can add data to that table, a bit like Dataverse, but it's called Microsoft list. It's simpler than Dataverse, okay? So test one, okay, I'll add some value here, right? And I can add some more values, etc. So if I want to connect that in Power BI, I can use data connection. Can we do that? Where is that? And let's see. Okay, connect. So you have to use SharePoint Online list. Huh? It's the same basically, right? Because the Microsoft SharePoint list actually is, let's see. It take you to. Okay, let's go to SharePoint just to access that list. Mm, where is that? Okay, SharePoint. Okay, let's quickly go there. Oops. Okay, I don't have access. Strange. Okay. This. Why do I not have access?
What if you go on integrate there, and then on the drop down you should have go to the MS list. I managed to do it, but the only thing is that like you show like to share it with someone. This is what I'm not able to do. So I managed to design the dashboard. Dashboard
Yes.
look okay, but from I can't like share it like the dashboard with someone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and like if for example someone have access to the list, I have given access to some users to the
Yes.
list, okay, but when they go to the Power BI, okay, and they go to my dashboard, they are able to see that field where you are able to edit it. So this is my question: how can I limit a user
Okay.
to modify my dashboard or anything?
You
So
don't want the user to modify?
yeah, you see where you are here on the
Yes.
right hand
Yeah,
side. I don't
he
want
can
to
change
give
it.
a user.
Yeah, okay, he can change it. So what? Okay, so this is just to. This is how you can create. So basically, you can go via SharePoint, but I think I have something wrong with my access. But if you go to Power BI, visualize the list, you can go there as well. But your point was, once I have the report here, what you have to do, if I go to my Power BI report, to my Power BI dashboard, wait a minute, is that okay? So in your Power BI, when you do sharing, you have the ability to
Yeah.
say read only or not. Check that.
Let me check. Check. Okay, I managed to save the dashboard.
Yes, if you say, okay, dashboard. Right. So everybody can create their own dashboard, right? So if you want to create, are you talking about dashboard or you're talking about report? Because
Yeah.
report is the page that you create, and then you can create as many dashboard as you want on a report. So
No,
if
no,
I click
yeah.
report, so if you go dashboard, for example, when you share a dashboard like this here, you have the ability to say allow recipient to share, or allow recipient to build content with the data associated with this dashboard. So this is from a dashboard perspective. So now if you don't want the user to modify the report, what you have to do is when you click share, you can have the, what is that? Where is that? Give him a minute. You have an option here to say that they can read only. Where is that? Okay. No. Uh, okay. Where is that permission option? Am I missing something? It should be an option. Ah, okay, here you go. In manage, see, so in manage permission, I'll show you where it is. On your report, you go to share, and then you take that small three dotted line, three dots here, right? You have manage permission. So on manage permission, you have the ability to give access here. Oh, no, it's not giving me. No, it's the same. Why? Uh, I do. Hmm. Have you removed that option? Allow recipient to build content with the data associated on this report?
No, no, no. So let me check. I'm also opening it.
Because this is what you have.
Because you see, for you, when I'm looking at your workspace, I can
Hmm.
see it on your workspace. Because for me, when I have already built that report
Hmm.
on the MS list, when I say save, uh,
Okay.
it it give me option like if I do save, save a copy. So it
Yes.
tell me when you publish this report back to the
Uh-huh.
list. So it's like publishing this report only to that list, to that
Ah.
MS list.
Hmm. Because see here, I've given permission to Hema, for example, and you can see the permission is read, so he can't modify that report. But what
Okay.
you're telling me is you have done like this, integrate and then
Yeah.
visualize.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think you have to go the SharePoint way. I've not done that this way because when you
See.
do it like this is only a visualization of the list. You see, I
Hmm.
think
Yeah.
it's
This is
only a
what I'm getting.
visualization of the list. It's not really a report. I think what you have to do, because all the lists are stored somewhere in SharePoint, you have to find in your SharePoint side, because um, this is only a visualization of the list. So whoever has access to the list will get this visual.
Yeah.
So this is the difference. If you want to create Power BI, better you go for SharePoint list, and then you point it. There is no Microsoft list, not yet, but I think it will not. It's a question of days now. There should be Microsoft list here, but the best way is you go. I can't find where is that in my SharePoint list, because I don't, something is wrong on my access. I don't know why. You see, it's okay. So it's stored here. All right. You see, this is what happened when you create Microsoft list. It's create a list in your personal zone in SharePoint, and this is the SharePoint list. And what I will do is take this, come here, and use SharePoint list, and put that URL here.
Mhm.
Okay, vas-y. Training list doesn't work. Okay, cool. So instead of going the Microsoft list way, I will go the SharePoint way, because the Microsoft list actually is a SharePoint list. And then you have all the flexibility. What is that? I think I have some permission problem here. Doesn't allow me to connect. Why? There's something wrong somewhere. See if this works. No, it does work. All right, so I think there's something that's strange. You see, it only gives you like a visual representation of your list. So what you're trying to do is when you share this report, it gives the user ability to do whatever he wants with that report, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, I think because I've not done this, to be very honest, in this manner. I've only used the SharePoint way to do it, and but then he can do edit. This is what you're saying.
Yeah, he can modify the
But
display of what all the
yes,
information
mm.
and change the
But
filter
and you
as well.
can't give him read only to the list because he has to add items to the list, right?
Yeah, I think I can try that. So I limit the access. I need to try to limit the
You can,
access, right?
if you limit the access to the list, then it will work. But the problem is that now your user won't be able to write to the list. You won't be able to create an item. I think I would go this way, but I have to find out why it's not, because Microsoft List is a bit particular, but because it's creating stuff in your, you see where it's creating that in the OneDrive somewhere. Okay, in the personal SharePoint space. I think this is why it's not allowing me to connect. But anyway, I think I don't know whether there will be a better way to connect. But you're using Microsoft List to store your information, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I think probably maybe use SharePoint lists instead, because then it won't store that in a in a personal zone. You can create the same thing in SharePoint. Instead of creating it in Microsoft List, create it in a SharePoint list.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
it will be better, yeah. It
Okay.
will be more manageable for you.
Okay. Thanks.
Right? Okay, we have another question from somebody else. I think it was Amudu Chilu.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I have a question. So regards to, let's say when you got to the BI for desktop, so initially you're giving a report based on let's say like for instance like on OneDrive, right? So let's say for instance you're getting like the report in real time. Let's say in an hour, but you're supposed to achieve, let's say, a certain amount. Let's just give that amount an example, like 100, right?
Say that again. Say that again.
Okay, so in BI desktop, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so initially you're creating a report for the next person you're supposed to share with to see it. You can access it in real time, correct?
He can access it in real time as soon as you share it, yes.
Okay.
But then it depends where the data are, right? If the data is, if you connect that report directly to a data source, then the report would be near real time. So when he opens the report, the data will be, okay, now it's a little bit more complicated than that because it depends on whether or not you have connected your data, you have connected your Power BI report, how you have connected the Power BI report to the data. You have two ways. Either you use import or you use direct query. When you use direct query, you have it's real-time data. So as soon as the report opens up, it queries the database. But if you have used, when you design your report, if you have used import, right, I will show you where. So when you connect to the data here, for example, let's say you are connecting to a SQL server. So when you connect to that SQL server, you see here, there's two types of connection, import or direct query. Import means it will create at this particular moment and import a snapshot of the data. And then you have to schedule refresh, right? You have to schedule automatic refresh. So every 1 hour, over every 15 minutes, it depends on you. You can create, you can schedule some refresh. So what the refresh will do, it will be refresh the report with the actual data. But if you use direct query, when somebody opens up the report, it will show live data. There are some advantages and disadvantages of using one and the other. For example, import, it's not applicable when you have huge data, because import means it imports all the data in the report. Okay. And direct query, the disadvantage is that if you have a big amount of data, the report will take time to load. So you have to make a balance of whether you're using import or direct query. But to answer your question, if you create a report and you use a database at the back and you have used direct query, yes, as soon as the other person opens up the report, it will give him the real-time data. But if you have used import, it depends on when the last refresh was done. Right?
Okay. Is it possible maybe you could maybe just like maybe show what a real-time report would look like in a case scenario? They say like they say a contact center, yeah, because obviously they get like they say like calls every minute. Take for instance, it's about collecting feedback. Let's say they say the report should indicate something like they say good reviews, bad reviews. So initially that's more like 15 minutes refresh. So in 15 minutes, let's say the overall person needs to be viewing how many good reviews are coming in and bad reviews are coming in. So it's just to tell which one is overweighing the other. So is there a way how maybe you can just create a sample just see how
what you have to do is, first of all, you see when you connect, so let me connect that to my, so the best thing that you would need to do is connect your data to a real database. So for example, I will connect it to Dataverse, right? Just give me a minute, I'll connect that to the Dataverse, right? To my Dataverse. So then you can see how it looks like. So the Dataverse will be real-time information, okay? Okay. Let me just open up my sorry, not here. With my admin account. And I just need to get my Dataverse admin so that I can connect to the environment. I'm just coming, right? So just getting that environment information. So what you're looking for, what I'm looking for is when you connect. So I want to connect to using it for to show you real time, right? Real time, I'm connecting to my Dataverse environment. It can be any database, right? So let's see. Environment. And what I need is this one. Okay. No, no, where's that? Not here. Yeah. Wait a minute. Product. Where's the settings? Where's the settings? Not this one. Okay, this is what I need. Okay. I need that here actually. There you go. So I would say direct query. Okay. Now I'm connecting to my Dataverse environment. Okay. Sign in. So you need to have that, and let's using my account here. So you need to know to which environment you connect to. So now it says Common Data Service, which is Dataverse. So it connects. It's pretty much the same. Apart, the only difference is you use direct query for real-time information. Okay. Then you don't need to program any refresh. Everything will happen as soon as you open the document, the reports. Sorry. So let's see. Let's see here. I have a custom training, right? So I've got few records in there, not much. Okay, okay, here you go. Only these records. So what Power BI is telling me is retrieving that data. Right, so I have all my tables here. I will choose the custom training and I would say load. Now I can build reports on top of that. I can do a number of stuff on top of that. Okay, let me show you how. Okay, I don't have much information. It's going to be a basic table kind of report. Okay, it's taking a while. Okay. It might take a while because the Power Platform is a little bit slow with bad connection. So you need to have good connection. I think I'm not having a good connection, but yeah. Okay, let's see. Right, so I have my table here. Okay, I've got all the fields, a lot of them, because a lot of default fields that I don't need. I just need the training name, and I just need I can create the created on. I can get the training date, for example. Okay, attendee details, etc., etc. Right. So you see that it's loading that information here. Oh, taking a while. That's really slow. Okay, let me come back to that in a moment. If you allow me, Chilo, I'll come back to you, right?
Yeah, sure thing.
Okay, all right. So let me move on. So I don't want to keep the others waiting. So this is about Power BI. Any questions on Power BI before we move to the last chapter, which is Power Virtual Agent? Okay, right. So so the last module is about Power Virtual Agent. What is Power Virtual Agent? Is the bot, right? The bot that the Microsoft bot. It's called Power Virtual Agent. Right. So what can you do with Power Virtual Agent? So basically, Power Virtual Agent allows you to create chatbots, right? Chatbots that you can put on your website, chatbot that you can put internally, chatbot that can be used to guide your users, etc., etc. Right? So this is the idea of Power Virtual Agent, right? So first thing that you can do with Power Virtual Agent is you can create virtual agent based on topics. You can have different topics and have a virtual agent based on different topics. And you can create some actions. What do you want to do based on different topics, right? So I'll show you how to create one. Second aspect is entities. So Power Virtual Agent works on entities as well. So entities means the different tables that you might have. Okay. It's basically information that are stored somewhere in a database, right? So this is entities, right? So you have pre-built entities, or you can create custom entities, right? Tables, right? Where you want to store your information. So you need to store that information for the bot to have access to it. And then you have actions. You have what you call a flow, right? Exactly like Power Automate, but this is a action flow that is part of Power Virtual Agent to tell the agent what to do in which condition, right? So once you have, these are the three components. Once you have that, you can publish your agent to different channels, including website, mobile app, Facebook, Teams, etc., etc. Right. So, but first you have to create that bot. So this is what I want to show you, how you create a bot, right? So this is what you need to create a bot for the first time, right? So you can go to Power Virtual Agent and create a new bot. Okay. So if I want to show you here what happened. Okay, so if I go to my apps, this is still running. Okay, let me come back to that afterwards. So if I go to my apps and then Power Virtual Agent. Or maybe I can have to go through Teams or just use this here. Okay. All right, so go to Power Virtual Agent and then sign in. I hope my account is still active. Okay, connectivity is a bit poor. Strange. Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay, so I created a bot training, our platform, language, English, environment is good. Create. Right, so it's getting ready. to create the bot, and then I can choose what I want the bot to do. Okay, right. So first of all, this is my my bot, a test bot. I want to start. Let's see. I don't have much information here. See, okay, yeah, I got some stuff. Hi. So right. So basically, out of the box, the bot has got some, some knowledge base. You can see when you provision the bot, has got some knowledge base, some topics understanding, etc. So when you say hello, it will just reply. Let me try this. Okay, doesn't have any topic, right? So now you start creating topic. You can say, for example, a name, right? So trigger phrase. Oops. Okay, and then what to do. Show a message, call in action, redirect to another topic, right? So this is what you start building, right? So for example, name, I don't know, you can add just phrases here. What is name? Okay, and then here you could say my name. Okay, something like that, right? So you can use, and then you say, okay, add a condition, ask a question. Okay, how may I help? Okay, and then you have multiple choice. Okay, for the how may I help, and it continues like that, right? So this is one of the it like this. Okay, name, right? This is one of the okay, there's an error. Okay, yeah, so option for the user. None, right? Okay, save that. So if I say what, oops, sorry. What is your name? Let's see. But what is wrong with this? The spot. Okay. What is wrong? Trigger phrase. Okay. Yes. Okay. Be fine. Ah. Okay. Did I create it? Where's the one I created? Okay, this one. Yeah, should be fine. Ah, no trigger phrase. Okay, fine. Fine. Why? What is name? Okay. Will I miss something? Okay, what is your name? Try again. Ah, cool. See? So it says, my name is Bud, how may I help? And I have none. I respond. So now I can continue. See, and it shows you what are the track. So now you can make it more intelligent. So the idea here is to create topics is, okay, some trigger phrase that you want to do. So you can there are some that are given to you. For example, you see, buy, start over, thanks, good afternoon, etc., etc. These are all provided, but you can create custom topics. Topics is how you want to interact, the first trigger point, right? So it's a question of, now you can store your information in entities. For example, I don't know, you want to store a lot of information, you store that in entities, right? Once you're done, you take your bot, you publish your bot, right? So now when you have to publish your bot, it will automatically have the ability um, to, let's see, is it published? Yes, okay. Okay, let's go. Let's see. Okay, I have different child. So this is an example of a bot. Okay, so let's see if the bot works. You see, it's called Training Power Platform. This is the name of the bot. Hi. Let's see. Okay, what is your name? Let's see if now it's a real world scenario. Okay, so cool, it works. Okay, because this is on a website. So this is how you would see that on a website, right? So this is Power Virtual Agent. These are all integration channel that you have. You can publish it to Teams. You can publish it to a website or to a custom website, right? So you just have to choose your custom website and you put the URL, and this is the code that you want to use. Just embed that code into your website and it will just open up your bot. As simple as that, right? So it's very simple to create a bot. It's about creating topics. If you want everything to go through one topic, you do it like this, right? So end conversation, right? Right? End with the survey, and you can start a survey, or you can just say end like this, right? So you can give options, and then based on the option, you can have condition. Then it can get pretty much interesting here, right? So if the result or the variable or whatever is this, you go in that direction as you go in that. So this can get really, really complex. You can imagine a lot of scenarios, but as I've shown you, it's very simple to create topics, and everything starts from topics. Okay, you have to organize yourself in terms of what you want to see, how you want to work with the bot, and create topics, right? So it's pretty much easy, right? Okay, cool. So we have tested that, we have published the bot, and you can even analyze the bot, how it has been used, etc. This is part of the if you go to your bot, okay, right? So you can say, where's that? Not this one, training, yeah, okay. Why I can't, okay, analytics, okay, here you go. So analytics, it will tell you your bot, okay, okay, let's wait for the report, how your bot has been doing, etc., etc. Of course, it's a paid service, so you have to go to the. There are a couple of licensing model that you have if you want to purchase the bot. Okay, but it's not that simple. But a lot of stuff are free. Okay, you can try it for free, and you can do a lot of stuff for free. But the licensing model is quite complicated. Okay, to be very honest, you can look for the guide and sell it to you, but it's not that straightforward. Okay, so this is your analytics of the bots, right? Okay, all right. So this is, okay, there's, as you can see, yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do, but this is pretty much what it is, Power Virtual Agent. This is your chatbot, right? This is what I have to show you for Virtual Agent. If you have any question, please, I'd be glad to attend. No. Okay, let me get back to
I have
the
a question.
yes,
Sorry.
sir. Yes, sir. Mhm.
You mentioned you could actually connect the bot over to Facebook. Let's say, for instance, like a business that
Yes.
owns like a
Yeah.
yeah. So initially it gets the code embedded and just is just thrown into the Facebook platform, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. You just need to embed the code in the Facebook platform, and then you can use your own bot.
Okay, so all the analytics are done from Power instead, yeah.
From exactly from Power Virtual Agent. Exactly right.
All right.
And then from a pricing perspective, this is how the pricing looked like. So it's a bit complicated. So it's a per month for 2,000 sessions, right? So and you have to understand what is session. So you can buy like this, or you can buy add-on. Okay, if 2,000 session is not enough, you can buy another 1,000 session for okay, around 75 pounds. I don't know why it is giving me pounds here. I need to change the currency. Okay, but basically yes, this is what you have. So Power Virtual Agent, this is in terms of capacity, because remember it also stores information in the dataverse. So this is basically what you're looking at in terms of pricing. You're starting off with around, maybe it's around $200 or something per month. Okay, if I'm not mistaken. Can I change it to, yes, I can change it to US. What is that? Okay. Yeah, $200 was great, right? Okay, let me get back to, okay, this is your report that is real-time reports. So the difference with that is when you publish that report, actually it's pretty much the same. Doesn't make a big difference. I will just show you one thing. Power BI real-time. Let's publish that. Okay, so if you go to that Power BI dashboard and refresh that. So this report has been created using direct query mode, which means that when you click on that report, if I can see it, refresh it again. It's called PBI real time. Okay, so let's see. Okay, real time. Let's see that. Okay, so this report here, when you click on that, it generally, okay, this is a typical example of, when you connect directly, it can't connect because of some credential issue. But anyway, let me show you something. So let me show you something here. So PBI real time, right? Look at that. Look at the data set. Every report has got a data set. If I show you the settings of that data set, right? It gives you, okay, let me do that. So sign in. Okay, let's quickly just sign in because it has lost connectivity for some reason. Okay, Right, that's good. So when you look at that, you see that there's something called automatic refresh, right? So you can put the frequency if you want, right? But because I'm using common data service and I'm using direct connectivity, when I go to my report, okay, if I go to my report here, now that I have fixed the connectivity issue, if I click on that, oh, doesn't work. Okay, it's coming, right? Okay, so this report will display direct information from that data source. So if I change something here, right? So, but you will have to refresh. In Power BI, there's no such thing as, if you want to have real time in terms of the dashboard gets automatically, you see, I have the data that is already updated. I just, okay, obviously you need to hit refresh, but if you want the report to refresh automatically, then there's something else that you need to use, which is a service in Azure that allows you to refresh that report automatically. But here, as soon as the data changes, okay, like this, the report won't change. You have to hit refresh for that to change. Okay, if you want that report to reflect real-time changes, there are some stuff that you have to do. There's a specific service in Azure that you have to use that would refresh that actual report. Okay, but you have to hit refresh for that to happen. It will query back the database and come back and display the change, right? So you don't need to do a manual refresh, but if you close that report and open it again, obviously it will display the change. Okay. So this is the difference between direct query, and if you have used import, it won't work. Even if you use refresh, it won't work. You have to do a manual refresh of the data set, or you have to schedule automatic refresh of the data set. Okay. So right, so this is about querying data directly. Okay, so I'm querying the Dataverse directly and displaying information right there. So I don't know if this answer your question.
Yes, it does. I was
Okay.
just wondering what app is it? You said there's something on Azure that you could use for real time.
Yes, for real time, I'll give you the name. So for real time refresh, actually, you have to use. Let me just tell you. Forget the name. Okay, give me a minute. It's called. So first of all, you have to use real time. It's called, well, it's real time streaming, but you have to use. Okay, Azure Stream Analytics. So what Azure Stream Analytics does, okay, I'm trying to give you the website of Azure Stream Analytics, because you have seen what, okay, I got it. So you've seen what happened here. We have done some direct connection, but even that, the report doesn't refresh. So for that report to refresh, you need something called push refresh. So it's the data should push to the report, something like that, right? So for that to happen, you need to use Azure Real-Time Analytics, which is Stream Analytics, right? So this is the website that can help you to understand a bit more about Stream Analytics. I'm trying to find something easier to understand. Okay. See if this is easier stuff. Can you hear?
I can't hear anything.
Could you hear the video? When I was playing that, can you hear that video or not?
No, I couldn't.
What? Sorry?
No, I couldn't.
No, you couldn't. Ah, okay. All right. So what? I don't know how to do that. Anyway, I'll share that with you in the chat. So, but stream analytics basically is what you want to do if you want to have push. This is what we call push notification, push update, right? So it basically takes that information from the data and push it to the report, right? So Stream Analytics has got some pricing as well, but basically this is what you need if you want your data to automatically refresh as soon as the data changes, right? Because the Power BI will not refresh itself apart from if you program like an hourly refresh or a every minute refresh, but this is not what you want to do. If you want to do real time, this is what you need. Okay? Stream Analytics. All right. So, guys, this is what I had to share with you. Do we have any questions, comments, or anything that you guys want to share? Feedback, most welcome. I hope it was fruitful for you guys. Maybe you know a little bit about the platform. I hope I managed to bring some additional values to what you already knew.
I wanted to ask, you know what? Which one do you think, because a lot of these things, obviously, with the price and also with the kind of subscriptions, of these three, which one do you think would be best for smaller customers? The ones with not like the enterprise guys with 300
Yes,
or
of
hundreds
course.
of customers. Yeah, but like the smaller businesses.
All right. So what is really working nowadays is Power Automate, right? Power Automate is making a lot of sense. I've seen a lot of small customers doing their stuff on their own, creating some bots, not chat bots, but creating some bots that are automating their task. I've seen that. So just for information, you know that there are competitive products out there. For example, you have Automation Anywhere, UiPath, etc., etc. So instead of buying those products, which has got additional license, as part of your existing Office 365 licenses, your customers can leverage on Power Automate and do a lot of those repetitive tasks. It can be simple stuff that I've seen people doing with Excel macros at some point. Instead of doing that, they can use Power Automate. Power Automate can get into that Excel, retrieve some lines, do some stuff, and then automate a lot of manual tasks like that. So you don't need like super intelligent bots. It's simple bots that does repetitive tasks. This is one thing. Another thing that is working great is Power BI. Obviously, for everybody, they're using Power BI. Even if you use Power BI desktop, which is free, doesn't require that $10 license, you can get your customers to start Power BI for free. Okay. So Power BI is a great tool. Start with Power BI desktop. Start with Power BI desktop. Even if you have small customers, they can download it, they can connect it to their Excel, they can do their reports and use it for them. If they want to share it, then they start purchasing licenses. But even that they can share it, but it's going to be in a messy way. They will put it in a file because Power BI generates a PBIX file. So they will create a PBIX file, store that somewhere, and then get going. But yeah, I think these are the two main products.
If they have sorry, just on the Power BI part, if they have a Microsoft, they already have Microsoft licenses, won't they be able to still access the reports from Power BI?
No, they need Power BI Pro. They need Power BI Pro. If they have only Office 365 account, they can't access. they will need a Power BI Pro account. But
Okay.
they can create their own account. You know, in Power BI you have Power BI free account. You can create your own workspace for free, but you can't share whatever you have done with other people. If you want to share, then you need Pro. If you want to stay on your own, then it's free of charge, no cost.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So
Yeah,
basically,
thank you.
yes, you
Yeah, thanks.
these two products. Okay, perfect. Anyone else, please? Any comments? I hope it was fruitful to you guys where we've spent a day together. So I hope that it was worth it. All right. So the recording would be available to you guys. So if you have any issue, please get in touch with Shalini. He can help you. All right, Shalini, are you still there? No.
Hi, Doctor, it's Vic here.
Hi, Vic.
I will make sure that the recording is available within the next week. We will most probably just put it on our website under webinars, but I will share the link on here as soon as it's available.
Thank you, Vic.
Perfect.
All right, guys. So if there are no further questions or comments, I would like to thank you for your availability. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your comments. And I'll hope to see you soon, right? Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'll see you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.